As Democrats deal with political violence here at home, the world is right now testing Donald Trump. The first international incident, Israel has infuriated a region by striking Hamas targets inside of Qatar, the site of peace talks. Now, the president is distancing himself and the United States from that strike, and the White House is said to be frustrated by Israel's actions. Second, Russia flying drones into Poland, forcing NATO jets to scramble and to shoot them down. Now, NATO says that it's the first time that forces confronted a threat in their airspace, raising fears of the Ukraine war expanding. But despite the serious moment of all of this, the president is shrugging it off.
What's your reaction to Russian drone incursion into Poland?
Could have been a mistake. But regardless, I'm not happy about anything having to do with that whole situation.
Now, President Trump says it could have been a mistake. Poland's Prime Minister Donald Tusk said pretty pointedly in an X post, "We would also wish that the drone attack in Poland was a mistake, but it wasn't, and we know it." And as with a lot of things with Putin, Trump is displeased, he's unhappy, but what comes next? What are the consequences?
So it wasn't a mistake. It was a test. And I think Trump actually passed, if it's Putin that is testing it, which is the lack of interest in what was happening. And again, the sense that the president of the United States has no authority to help steer, right, the reaction, or the Europeans, or whatever else. You see the same with Israel. That happened this week, the bombing in Qatar. But in the Middle East, I mean, it's hard to shock people in the Middle East right now. That was shocking, right? You're doing negotiations for a peace deal in Israel and Gaza, and in the middle of it, you basically bomb. This is Israel, the headquarters. And so, I mean, look, Donald Trump has emotions, not strategy. He said "I" 4 times in your 27-second clip. He never says the United States. And therefore, when the "I" is disinterested or can't seem to control it or whatever, he reverts into, well, I'm not going to pay attention. You don't hear the president talk about the United States' strategic interest in a way that would then guide us into the future.
And on that Israeli attack, I mean, there was a moment this week where I was like, okay, we need to see if this is just sort of plausible deniability. But the reporting seems to indicate they truly were not given a heads up about this, and that Israel did something that kind of put the United States in a corner with a key strategic ally in the region. And Trump was caught on the back foot. And it's not clear to me what, if any, consequences there are for that, for Israel.
I'm a little skeptical that they were calling about. This is one of our greatest allies. Trump and Bibi are completely aligned, and I think it's been very clear.
I only say that because, I mean, look, I was skeptical too, to be honest, right?
Yeah.
But the reporting is, inside the White House, there was anger, scrambling. Trump sent his top envoy to call Qatar as the bombs were dropping. So, I mean, there was a clear element of they were not told.
Well, I think his statement also was kind of telling. He was basically like, I'm sorry, I hate that this happened in Qatar, but let's remember what's going on here. No one was really upset when we went in after 9/11 and got Osama bin Laden. Pakistan's an ally, and we did because we had 9/11. 10/7 is their 9/11. They are going after, and let's also remember who we're talking about here. These aren't diplomats that they're going after. This is Hamas. They are terrorists, and they have hostages. And so I think, yes, for public-facing purposes, the administration is like, yeah, we're not too happy about it. But if you look at the president's statement, we're not upset that they're going out there to kill Hamas terrorists.
But let's take Qatar out of it for a second. This is a president who has a clear pattern of kowtowing and bending to leaders of other countries. You have a president who literally rolled out the red carpet for someone who's called the United States a global parasite. You have a president who has agreed with Netanyahu on a proposal to relocate an entire group of people out of where they are living, in a place where there are more child amputees per capita than any other place in the world. So I don't know where people should look to see the president winning with any of these leaders. And that should concern all of us, because America first should be the policy of this country. And especially when you look at how he's proceeding with Putin in Ukraine, I don't see a lot of evidence of it.
The administration talks about its realism. And, you know, historically, there are reasons to work with dictators at times. We actually had to defend Stalin during World War II. It was a good thing that Richard Nixon went to China. Mao was a mass murderer, terrible person. But it changed the nature of the political system, the international political system, in a way that helped American interests. My question is this: how is it in American interests that we enable Putin in Europe, that we make it easier for him to alter the politics of neighboring countries like Moldova and Georgia, and that we basically sacrifice Ukraine? How is that in our interest? And I'll go even further than that. Leave aside the moral issue of who started that war. Our most important trading partners are in Europe, and they're in Canada, and they're in Mexico. How is it in our economic interest that we should be undermining a cause they all believe in? How is that America first? If the president could explain how this will lead to a stronger America, I'm not sure I'd agree with him, but I want to hear it.
Fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing.